You'd think by now we've explored every single inch of our planet, right? But what if I told you there are still places that are total mysteries? So remote, so untouched, that they hold secrets we can't even begin to imagine. Well, today, we're going to dive into one of those spots. It's, and I mean this literally, a graveyard at the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, so our journey here kicks off with a pretty startling claim. It's a central mystery that sounds like it's been ripped straight from an old adventure novel. But here's the thing. This isn't fiction. This place is 100% real.
All right, so let's get right to the heart of it. The source material we're looking at says it's not just, a couple of old shipwrecks scattered about. Nope, it's talking about one specific spot on Earth that acts as a final resting place for ships and maybe even sea monsters. Yeah. A claim that big, it makes you ask one thing right away, doesn't it?
Exactly. Where in the world could a place like this actually exist, totally hidden away from everybody? Well, the answer is just as fascinating as the mystery itself. The location. Oh, the location is everything. It's the absolute key to this whole story. We're about to go to one of the most desolate, isolated, and frankly inaccessible spots on the entire globe. A place so remote, it's almost like visiting another planet. It's called the South Pacific Gyre. So, what's a gyre? Just picture a giant, super slow-motion whirlpool in the ocean, where the currents spin around and pull everything into a calm, stable spot right in the middle. And this particular one is so huge and so far from any land that it's actually nicknamed the Oceanic Pole of Inaccessibility. It is, by definition, the loneliest place in any ocean on Earth. And that extreme isolation, that's the key to this entire mystery. And that total isolation is precisely why it's been chosen for a very specific job. I mean, think about it. If you need to get rid of something massive, something maybe even a little hazardous, where do you put it? You put it somewhere no one is ever going to just stumble upon it.
So let's start with what we know for a fact is being sent to this ocean graveyard. And we're not talking about ancient galleons or anything like that. Nope, the confirmed debris comes from the very pinnacle of our own modern technology. That's right, get this. This remote patch of ocean is a designated spacecraft cemetery. When satellites, space stations, even the enormous Mir space station reach the end of their lives, space agencies guide their fiery re-entry to this exact spot. And why? Because it's the largest uninhabited area on the planet. It's the safest place you could possibly crash tons of high-tech metal falling from the sky.
Okay, so space junk explains part of the story, but that doesn't account for those other claims, the ones about ships and sea monsters. And this is where we leave the world of the known and head straight into the deeply mysterious.
All right, now we're venturing into the more speculative and, let's be honest, kind of chilling part of all this. What else does this incredibly remote location hide beneath the waves?
According to our source, the gyre is a trap for a lot more than just satellites. It's allegedly home to ghost ships, vessels that were lost at sea, got caught in the currents, and just pulled into this vortex. The source also mentions carcasses, which hints at the remains of massive creatures that die way out in the open ocean. But the most intriguing part? It suggests there's completely unstudied sea life down there. And this slide really gets to the core of it. The whole reason for the mystery. Why everything, the satellites, the alleged ghost ships, the potential for brand new forms of life, all of it accumulates here. For one simple reason, it's utter remoteness. It's a perfect natural trap. A corner of the world so isolated that secrets can just sit there, completely undisturbed.
Let's just pause on that for a second. Unstudied sea life. I mean, wow. In an age where we've mapped the globe and we're sending probes to other planets, the idea that there are still forms of life on our own world that we've never seen, never studied, that's just incredible. This remote oceanic graveyard could actually be a cradle for creatures totally unknown to science. So I guess the big takeaway here is that our planet, for all our exploration, still has its blank spaces on the map. It has its graveyards, yeah, but also its hidden cradles of life. Which leaves us with one final lingering thought. If this is what might be lying in just one of our planet's loneliest places, what other wonders or terrors are still out there just